up, guys? MVP 123R, something like that. Fuck. Yo, dude, I'm leaving that. MVP Shear 123R88. Here with the Mad Scientist 7890. You can't see him. If he was on the screen, you could see him. You should subscribe to his channel. I'm plugging him right now. I'll put it in the bottom. He's a funny guy. He did a video on tag teams. I give it like 4 stars. Like, he sold it really well, and it had a lot of like high spots. It was a little boring in parts, like during the middle portion, but it really picked up at the end. So I'm gonna give that like 4 stars. This review right here is brought to you by Oreo Sundaes. I have no idea why it's ripped. And ice cream cones. But yeah, if you want an Oreo Sundae, just head over to BK, where they have them all the time. I'm going to do a review right now. My favorite Ring of Honor show. I don't know if it's the best. People keep telling me I'm wrong.
Glory by Honor. 5 Night 2.
That's not even his favorite show. Is Death Force Honor 8. That's what he told me the other day. He switches. I don't switch. Death Force Honor 6 is where it's at. I'm going to tell you why it's where it's at. Alright? Crowd's hot. Great matches, great angles, good stuff, good storylines going on. It had everything. We're going to go through it right now. Alright, first match, you got the Briscoes. You got Jigsaw and Ruckus. You got good 5-6 minute match. Had some good high spots. Didn't have any low spots. There was no boringness in the middle. Not like his video. It may not have got a high rating, but it kept the fans happy. Fans were popping the whole time. Fans were, hot for the Vulture squad because they're in New York. The Briscoes, it was Mark Briscoe returning from injury. 2 3/4. It was good. It did his job. It built up. It was pretty good. Second match, we got Chris here and Delirious. This told a really good story too. Sweet and Sour coming out there. All of them like, oh, we're better than everybody. It's gonna be a takeover tonight. We're gonna win all our matches. Delirious winning with a little bit of a distraction, or not Delirious winning. Chris Hero winning with a little bit of distraction. Picking up the first win for him. I gave that 2 3/4. Told a solid story in the ring. You got Edwards versus Strong, which main event in Manhattan Man 4. Back here, it wasn't as big of a deal, but still, I was pumped for this match after seeing all the other stuff, seeing their matches now. I want to go back and see how they were back then. That was pretty good too. I mean, it was a little bit slower in parts. It was the longest of the matches. I feel like the first 3 matches were all on the same tier. They're all 2 3/4 to me. Strong losing to Edwards, which was a pretty big upset at the time. Hero came in there and elbowed him, got him things. So that sets up a really good story for the next match, which was Brent Albright, Adam Pearce for the NWA World Title. And man, was this crowd hot for for Brent Albright, man. They just went nuts when he came out. Really, this match, it probably wasn't really that great of in ring. Maybe it was like 3.5, 3 3/4. But the fans were out of their fucking minds. Just went crazy the entire match. Just friggin' just going nuts anytime friggin' Brent Albright's got on the offense. It just was ridiculous. The only problem was every time that Brent Albright got on the offense, like he's like, oh yeah, come on, I'm Brent Albright, and then all start cheering, and then just start throwing punches. Like nothing, he didn't do anything cool. He'd do like stupid, like simple moves. If he would have done like big suplexes at like those points at the end of the match, the crowd would have gotten even hotter. But Brent Albright didn't really know what to do in the ring. It was probably his best match, just because of the crowd heat. But, he could have made it better. Then we had, the storyline match tonight. Aries, Jacobs, and Butcher. Butcher being on, Jacobs' side. Oh, we're all, it's not 2 people, it's 1 person. We're all going to take down Aries together. And, this story, it's told actually a pretty good story. And it actually had a pretty good, match. Aries and Jacobs for the most part, with Butcher mostly on the outside, and Aries wrestling them both. And then, he got in there, and, Aries was knocked out, and Jacobs and Butcher were fighting, and then Jacobs moves out of the way of a chair shot that Aries threw, and it hits Butcher, and then Aries throws the chair into Jacobs' hands like Eddie Guerrero, and then falls over like he's knocked out. And Butcher's like, did you hit me? And he's like, oh, no, I didn't hit you, You do what I say. You go hit him now. You do what I say. And then, Butcher just snapped and just beat the crap out of Jacobs, and then Aries hit the 450, and that was all she wrote on that one. Solid match, like 2.5. Last match was 4 1/4. I didn't even give a rating. 4 1/4. It could have been like, I've seen people give 4.5. It didn't really reach the level for me, but You know, it was really good because of the crowd, but I don't think the match was near as good without that crowd, so I can't really give it 4.5. 2.5 on that. The next match, which I probably rated higher than a lot of people, but I even watched it twice because I was like, you know, I don't know if it's really that high. Go Shiozaki and Naomichi Marufuji. I'm gonna say this match is 4.5 stars. Honestly, you can hate that opinion. You could say I'm overrating this. I don't really fucking care. The match is 4.5 to me. If that match was the main event of a Noah show, you guys will all be singing its praise being 4.5. It felt like a big, Noah main event, a Japanese main event as the sixth match of the card. Like they went out there for 22 minutes and did things they would do in Japan. They didn't hold back. There was no, weak points to the match. There was no, slow points at all to this match. This match had great counters. This match had great moves. The brainbuster on the apron was freaking ridiculous. Just like the little short brainbuster he did. The crowd was freaking going crazy for this match. I really think this was better than Albright and Pearce. The crowd was probably even close to just as hot for this too. And the moves in the match itself was better, and it was better structured. And I really enjoyed it. I'm probably the highest rating I've seen on it, but I think it's like two Noah main eventers coming over and giving us a match, a Ring of Honor match, and Ring of Honor's home turf, for the New York crowd. And it just seemed like it could be a main event like anywhere else, and it wasn't even on this card. But they put on a main event style match, so I give that 4.5. Then we got Generico versus the Motor City Machine Guns. This match should have been epic. It should have been 5-star classic. Should have reinvented tag wrestling or whatever. I really think they could have even had a better match than Briscoes Machine Guns, both of them. It started out really hot. It really made me want to see Kevin Steen and Alex Shelley, spitting on each other and blowing snot on each other. They had crazy heat with each other. It got to the point where both teams came into spaces. The Ring of Honor crowd just kind of turned on the Machine Guns, started chanting "Fuck TNA," and they really just started cheering for Generico. It kind of just stopped out of nowhere. It wasn't that long. It was only 18 minutes. It was still 4 stars. It still had some great stuff, and it still proved that they're two of the best tag teams in the world. But it didn't ever reach that next level. It never got on to where it never had a real crazy finish. It was kind of just a bare bones good tag team match, a great in fact, but they didn't get enough time to really tell as good a story in the ring as say a Briscoes Machine Guns, which had 35 minutes to produce something epic. Instead, they only got half that time. They produced something that was just great because they ran out of time to produce something better than that. And then we get the main event of the show. And I watched the match. Every time I watched the match before this, I gave it 4.5. I just, I was 4.5, flat 4.5. It was McGuinness versus Danielson versus Black versus Castagnoli. Just everything leading up, just the promos throughout the show. Just the stories going on in the match. I'm gonna go ahead and give this 4.4. I've seen a guy give it 5 stars. I'm not gonna go that high, but it's pretty damn close to perfect. The whole story at the start with all 4 of them, in the ring at the time, and trying to get the one-ups, and they all came across as kind of equals, when they were fighting in the ring. And then Claudio gets eliminated on a fluke roll-up by Danielson, and just goes nuts, destroys Danielson, stomps out with a chair, then destroys all the security. I really think Claudio came out looking the best in this match, and he got eliminated first, just taking out everybody. It took 10 guys to bring him to the back. Came out looking like a complete monster. The thing I can give about this match, everybody in this match came out looking good. Because Claudio, he destroyed everyone at the end. He lost on a fluke. Danielson beat someone, and the only reason he got pinned was because Claudio attacked him with a chair, blindsided him and then stomped his head with a chair. Black took a ton of lariats and just kept kicking out of everything, just looked unstoppable, like nothing put him away. And then McGuinness won the match. So I really think everyone looked good. It had 2 coherent stories with, the Danielson Claudio thing and then Black Nigel. They put it all together in one match. They could probably create one of the best matches of 2008 for Ring of Honor. Probably one of the best matches of 2008 anywhere. And yeah, I really loved that match. Like I said, I gave it 4.5. Every other time I give it 4.4 this time because it all just really came together for me. In a storytelling sense and a wrestling sense. But yeah, it's my first Ring of Honor review. I'll probably do some more Ring of Honor reviews. I don't know. Ring of Honor's okay, I guess. Ring of Honor's pretty good. I'm just fucking with you guys. But yeah, comment, subscribe, I don't care. Do whatever you guys want to fucking do. Tell me why my review is wrong. Tell me why my opinions suck. Doesn't matter. Peace.